Welcome to the Den. I'm Troy, and today I'm going to share with you 7 valuable tips on how to make a better feature wall. What the is this thing even on? Alright. The goal of this video is to provide 7 valuable tips to consider when building or making or installing a feature wall, reclaimed wood feature wall. When I say faster, I mean faster. I mean, the wall that you just saw before I popped into this video, some might say wrecked it. Just before I popped into this video, you saw a quick pan of the feature wall. Well, that feature wall there was 160, 170 square feet, and that was completed in one day by one man and a hammer. So we can definitely make this faster, we can make it smoother, and we can also make this more enjoyable for you. So let's work through the 7 tips, starting with tip 1. What is tip 1? Oh, base coat. Yeah, of course. Let's quit wasting time and get into the tips. Big tips! Yeah, tip 1, base coat. And that is to take where the intended feature wall is gonna go, paint that whole wall a dark color. Black, dark brown, dark gray, some sort of a dark color. I mean, there's other options than painting it. You could use some kind of a wall covering that's black, something like tar paper, but I wouldn't recommend the tar. We go with painting. It's an excellent option. You can do it relatively cheap. Actually, you can do it extremely cheap. You can do it free. Pop down to the local paint store, check out that clearance rack, you know, where people, wow, they took paint home, they got it on the wall, and the wife said, hey, that's not gonna work. So back to the store it goes, and on the shelf for half price. So pick up a can of that, just a small can. You only need 1 coat. Step 1, base coat. The reason for this is because it's gonna hide all the imperfections that may be in that wall, whether it be the nail holes, cracks in the wood, or even just your joins that aren't quite lined up 100%. Moving along, tip 2. Create a visual. This is going to be extremely important if you're kind of picky and you want to really lay out your floor and predetermine what exactly it's going to look like, or at least a very, very close simulation to what it's going to look like when finished up on the wall. You can do this in the room that you intend on doing the feature wall, but generally there just isn't enough room. So if you can get somewhere where it's nice and clean, you got a large flat surface, and you can lay this stuff down, just like what we're doing, and you'll see like this gives you that chance to switch out the, you know, maybe put a little more color here and take a little color out there. This feature wall, for example, is adding some browns to it just to bring it a little more earth toned. But depending on what you have, what you're using for material, this gives you the opportunity to switch out, you know, sizing, switch out colors, you know, just so it fits just right. At this point, once you're finished, take some pictures. Use those for reference later when you're building this wall. You'll get a lot closer than just winging it. After you've laid out the wall and you're happy with the way that it looks, take that material and start stacking it. Stack it into color, size, and width. If you do those 3 things, that's gonna make building this wall so much easier, and it'll take up less space. You won't be tripping over all your wood. Plus, this is a great way also to use that picture that you took earlier, and you can easily reference the colors that you wanna go up next. Setup. It may sound kind of obvious right now, and this is to set up a sizable table to use as a workbench. This will keep glue off your couch. This will keep everything on that table and organized, and more importantly, at hip level. Look at all that stuff on the bench. What do we got there? We got guns, we got Mountain Dew levels, and all kinds of stuff. You don't want this Barnwood to bring you to your knees, because if you don't have it on the table like we do, then that's on the floor. Add that, it's gonna make things go faster and a little smoother. preparing to fasten. Right, so it's important at this step just to get the wall ready, the last step before actually getting your sleeves rolled up and getting heavy into this project, is to mark out each stud, generally 16-inch on center, but you never know, you might be surprised, it might be 2 foot on center. So mark your studs with a pencil, then go back to those pencil lines, use your 4 foot level or a 2 foot level at least, and go ahead, make your line all the way from the ceiling right down to the floor on each and every stud all the way along. The point of this is quick reference. It's gonna save you time, just not even having to think. You're just like, oh, there's a stud, right, with your brad nails. The other added bonus, once finished and you work yourself all the way down to the floor, when it's all said and done, you have little tiny dots that you can barely see unless you really look, vertically all the way across your wall. So if you're in search for, or you're searching out a stud, say to anchor something in, or whatever reason you're looking for a stud down the road, it's right there in front of you. A side tip of this tip is to adjust your air compressor pressure just so you're sinking that brad nail head just into the wood, you know, so it's not sticking out, because they all are silver and that would show up more. Anyways, well hidden and excellent for future reference, and makes things a lot speedier on the way. Mastering tricky cuts. In this case, it's going to be trim is going to be our difficult cuts for this project, and we knocked it out of the park with this one. So this is what we use for these tricky cuts. We just want something that's quick, that can be transferred over to the wood. You can make a line and go ahead and cut with your jigsaw. That's what we did. Now you could do this other ways. You could use cardboard, I suppose, with a pencil, and then kind of cut it out and get it relatively close. Use that as your template. However, we used these. It was, I don't know, have you ever seen, maybe you've seen it scroll through as you're going through like Facebook, or you saw it somewhere other than Facebook as an ad, and you're like, are these things even real? I was asking the same question, and I was like, you know what, for the price, I'm gonna give it a shot, and if it works, great. If not, I'll go back to the cardboard. So there's 3 options. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go check them out further. There's so many more uses for them than just making trim for feature walls. They're made for the difficult cuts and to make the difficult cuts easy. All right, big tip. It's kind of a subtle tip, but it definitely makes it a little more polished, your finished wall, and that's blending. So when I say blending, I'm talking about taking the fresh cuts that were either made during milling, or maybe the process of cutting these trim boards down to desired width. In my opinion, this is 100-year-old wood or 100-plus-year-old wood, and you shouldn't see new wood as if it came off the shelf at Home Depot. This project, we used a lighter stain. It kind of goes in and just pulls the right colors out of the wall for us. It does help blend everything, and it's just that little extra step that makes things extra nice. That concludes our 7 tips on how to create a better feature wall.